Good morning, friends. I am Patty Elhoff, the author of Upcycle with Decoupage, and today I thought I'd show you a pretty quick and simple video on how to take one of those plain $5 phone cases and upcycle it or turn it into something prettier like one of these two. These are both the same napkin. One is just covered in glitter, and I'll show you the easy steps so that you can do this too. So I was in the mall the other day and passed one of those kiosks where they have all of those iPhone cases or smartphone cases, and saw one that was so pretty, and it was just a simple plastic case to go on the back of the cell phone. And I asked how much it was, and they said $45. And I said, okay, thank you. And then I thought, are they kidding? $45, we could do so much better than that. So I went right next door to the Five Below store and I bought this case. It's just one piece. It's already got a design on it that's not too bad, although my phone is a silver or a platinum phone. This wouldn't show up too well. And I just spray painted the whole outside with this plastic. Actually, it's a spray paint made for plastic, and I wanted to use a flat white. You can use a high gloss. Just make sure you get the paint that says that it's specifically for plastic. And you only need to paint the outside, and one coat of the spray paint works just fine. Then separate your napkin so that you have just the top layer. And we're only going to use about a quarter of our napkin. I'm trying to find where I think the prettiest design on the napkin is to go over the phone. And I'm just going to cut out that. You can see it overlaps around the sides, which you want to do. Make sure you have some overlap there. And now I'm going to cut out just this 1/4 part of the napkin to make it a lot easier to work with. And now I'm going to apply way too much decoupage glue over the surface of this. Of course, the spray paint is dry now, and you want to get to all of the sides, the top. You don't have to do anything on the inside, but just cover this whole outside, the back piece and the sides, and cover the whole surface. I'm sorry, I went a little too heavy here, so I'm removing some of the decoupage glue. And when you're all done, take that piece of napkin and lay it over the surface. Just pat it down lightly, and take a piece of plastic wrap, saran wrap, and pull it tightly and lay it over your case. Now you want to gently, I'm being a little bit rough here, but I learned if you pull too hard on the sides or the bottom of this, you will tear some of the napkin. But the plastic doesn't stick to the napkin or the decoupage glue or to your fingers. So you want to pull it enough where it keeps all of that napkin securely on your surface. And just make sure you go around and all of the edges, the surface, the sides, everything is covered with your napkin. Then you remove the saran wrap and put this aside to dry, which only takes about 20 minutes at the most. Once the cell phone case is dry, and don't worry about these sides yet, we're going to leave those there. And you may have covered a few of the openings that are in the cell phone case, like on the upper left-hand corner there, but don't worry about that. For now, we're going to just coat the whole surface with another layer of decoupage glue, and make sure you get the sides just as well as the top part here. And when we're done covering this, we want to put this aside to dry. And once this is dry, I'm taking my nail file that has seen better days, and I'm filing this away. You want to make really sure that you are only pulling the file towards the center. Don't go back and forth. If you file back and forth, you can pull away the decoupage glue and some of the napkin. So only file towards the center. It makes a nice clean edge, and you just pull all of this excess away. So do this around all 4 corners of your cell phone case. And for these smaller sections, right here, this is I think it's called a diamond file. It's one of these metal files. I thought this had a point on it. It does not. What I'm going to do is in these smaller sections, and again, I'm only pulling the file towards me from the back like this, so that I'm not sawing or going in a back and forth direction. Just pulling it towards me so that I can remove. Yeah, like that. Don't do that. That's what pulls away your work. So just pull the file towards you. I think there's a couple of openings on the bottom that I need to do this for also. And the on-off switch that's on the top of the phone, there is no hole there, but this still remains very flexible because I have to press a button down on the top of the phone, which I'll show you later. So I'm just going to file away all of the excess here. And make sure you've wiped away any of the residue from when you've sanded, but add one more coat of decoupage glue over the whole surface because most of us use these cell phones a lot. They take a bit of a beating and you want this to last. Once again, I'm going to put this aside to dry. And once this was all dry, I took my favorite spray top coat and I covered the whole surface with it, and it's the triple thick spray on top coat. And while the spray was still wet, I added 3 different colors of glitter over it. Blue green, a little green, and a little bit of this silvery metallic. And I also made a case so that you can see one without the glitter and you'll see it with the glitter. And now that it's all dry, here's how the cell phone looks without the glitter, with the napkin on it and the high gloss. Really happy with the way this turned out. And I also love the other one, which has the glitter on it, and that is this one. You can see I almost covered up the pattern on here, and there's quite a difference between the two. I still tend to love, when I have my cell phone on, I'm almost always outside or underneath those lights in the mall where it really fires up. Here's the on-off switch, which you can see, you can still press it because it's very flexible and the phone comes on, no problem at all. And you still got that opening in the back and the openings on the bottom. And I probably don't have to say this, but just to be on the safe side, make sure your cell phone is not in here when you're doing any of this work. Here's the one with all the glitter on it under some halogen lights, which is how I like it to look. It's just so fiery and sparkly. But I also love the original napkin, which is what inspired this project. So I'd like you to stay tuned. I'm going to show you some pictures of a little day trip we took the other day into Lambertville. Got some pretty shots, but it's also because I'm finally announcing my brand new website. The link to this website will be in the description of this video below. But I wanted to mention one thing. When you go over to the site, here's how it will look. You want to click on Shop, but then make sure in the category you select Kitchen and Housewares. And then you can find napkins. You would need to select a different category depending on if you're getting glues or crafts or whatever. So I am trying to make this site a lot easier for you, so any feedback is welcome as long as you're polite. Thank you. And I will be working on it more and more as time goes by and adding some of my older videos to it, still building this site up, but I'd love your feedback. But please go on over and have a look around the site. I've got several pictures on there, several projects that you may not have seen. And thank you in the meantime for subscribing, guys. That's what keeps us going over here on YouTube. Subscriptions are everything. So again, I really thank you. And thanks for having a look at my new website. I will see you guys next week with another video. Thanks again, friends. Bye-bye.